No, both of us. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Texans Training Camp, and joining me here is Seth Payne. We usually talk to you at night, but this is an early morning start for me, at least. I know you're up early, but we're here. It's Texas Training Camp, finally ready to go.
It's one of the biggest changes that Lovie Smith has made, at least the most easily noticeable changes, is that they're practicing really early. And I think if Lovie Smith follows what I've heard of him in his past, and he's in that Tony Dungy coaching tree, they like to get in, practice real hard, don't take a bunch of wasted time being out here forever, and then get back in and get your rest. And that's what it looks like so far. Like Bill O'Brien ran crisp practices. I think Gary Kubiak ran crisp practices. So it doesn't look that much different. Right. But it just feels like a normal training camp compared to what we saw last year, where there was a little bit of drama going on.
There was a little drama. The thing that always kind of tripped me out about the Bill O'Brien camps was that they didn't have the logos on the helmets. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
He had that whole thing that was like, oh, no, dude, you make the team. You're not.
You're just an anonymous cog in the machine until you actually prove yourself, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been in the league for 10 years, but you're just a nobody, you bum. Lovie doesn't. Like, he doesn't buy into any of the macho BS. You know, like if it's stuff.
Yes,
yeah.
He's been around a long time, man. He knows a thing or two about this league.
Yeah. He's not trying to prove anything to anybody. So that part of it, as a former player, that part of it's refreshing.
I do want to ask you, from your playing days, now you know you go through OTAs, you go through all that, and then you get a little bit of break. What is it kind of coming back, getting back into the fold after you do get that little break to spend a little time with the family? Or, I know you're still working, you're not going on many vacations and all that, you're still focused on what you're doing, but to come back with all the guys, it's fun. What was that feeling like?
You know what, it changes from year to year. Because when you're a rookie, at least with me, you're tense. You know, like you're nervous. You get winded just because you're so tense and hyped up, and you're a little bit nervous. You're not so sure of yourself. I can remember my rookie year, kind of looking around at all the other rookies the first day we had pads on, and everybody kind of had that same look in their eyes. Where the veterans, you're kind of like, all right, here we go. It was another practice. I'm not gonna win or lose my job out here in this practice. So it's different for everybody. This team, kind of like last year, has a lot of guys who are on 1- and 2-year contracts. So you do see. I feel like you can sense that. I could sense it last year. When you got that many guys that know that, hey, I'm on a 1-year deal, this might be it for me, there's a little bit of extra crispness and focus, and that's what it looks like with these guys.
Nick Caserio met with the media before training camp, and God bless Nick. He's building a team here, but he's a wordsmith.
Yeah.
He says so many things but doesn't say them at all, right?
Yeah.
But he was asked about Davis Mills, and we'll start there, right? I mean, because this is now his team.
Mm-hmm.
And the drama we talked about last year, not here. Davis Mills, the leadership you can tell from the guys talking in OTAs, they see it a little bit. What do you expect out of Davis, out of camp and moving forward?
I think the first thing I notice out here compared to last year is, and this is going to sound like it's no big deal, but it's actually a big deal. Through the first half of practice, I haven't seen anything that would make me feel like, uh-oh. You know, there's no part of me where
there are no uh-ohs.
Yeah. I mean, he's been pretty crisp today. The incompletions have been run-of-the-mill incompletions. He looks like he has command. He never looked like a guy who was flustered mentally. He never looked like, even when he threw a bunch of picks in any given practice, he never looked like it was too much for him. But I think this year you can tell there's like a casual competence to him. And now, obviously, we got to watch and see him in preseason games, combined practices, all that stuff. But a marked difference, I think, just in how much they expect from him right now.
I think those are all the steps that we what was it, casual confidence? Is that what you said?
Casual competence.
Casual competence.
Or
We all strive
confidence
for that at some point in our careers. Casual confidence.
It's what, you know what it is? It really, like whether it's in football or anything else, it's like when all of a sudden you get good enough that you can have fun doing it. Yeah. We're like driving. I'm teaching my kid how to drive right now, and
that's terrifying.
Yeah, they're about like 6 months away from actually enjoying driving, because it's like looking around and everything. And that's what Davis Mills was doing last year. He was learning how to merge during rush hour on the freeway when you're just trying not to get killed, and you're not going to be good at it. So hopefully this year he can actually, merge easily, just check his blind spot, all that stuff.
And I think too, is there something to be said, the fact that there is no drama. I mean, he's got some veterans in the room with him. A.J. McCarron's been around the league for a long time. But, there's got to be something to be said about, hey, this is my team. I don't have to worry about anything else that's going on. These guys try not to read a lot of stuff, but it's there. Yeah. People know what's going on. Deshaun was on the sidelines, but this is now 10's team.
Well, that's what I remember Whitney Merciless saying or at least he agreed with me when I said it feels like it's kind of like a dysfunctional family where you're not talking about, maybe the sibling that's the sibling that's different than everybody else.
Right,
You don't
right.
talk about it at dinner, but it's an issue. And
Right.
your dad's vein is bulging out of his. Like, it felt like that. And even though everybody obviously knew what the issue was, there were still only certain things you could do when you've got that situation there. And I think, it's not going to turn them all of a sudden into a championship team without that there. But for a team that's trying to develop a culture, I think it's possible. It's possible now, whereas last year I think there's only so much you could do.
The other question I get all the time is, what about the rookies, right? I mean, especially with a young team like this that's building, these rookie classes take so much more significance. For me, I always point to now number 5. It's Jalen Petrie. He wore
Right.
42 during OTAs, and he was one of the players that Lovie Smith first talked to out on the field. He just gets it. It seems like he's really into it. He knows what's going on, and he just kind of fits right in, I think, with what Lovie wants to do here.
Yeah, if we're talking about casual competence, that's what he looks like already. And he's a rookie. He's out there. My first impression just from watching the first team drill was, okay, he knows exactly where he fits. He's telling other players, some of the veteran players, kind of giving little reminders before he runs out to his spot. He had to swap responsibilities with one player because of the call and the formation. He's got that football IQ, and I don't like using that term because I think sometimes it's vague and sometimes it's given out a little too easily, but he has that quality kind of
that it factor, I think.
Yeah, like Tyrann Mathieu, where Tyrann can see the game differently than a lot of guys see the game, including like when he's blitzing, when he's playing cornerback, when he's playing safety. And Petrie looks like that. I can see him in person a little bit. You can kind of tell.
Yeah, because you could tell the confidence when guys practice,
Yeah.
and that's always going to translate over. And from day one, from rookie camp, he's always had that confidence, and that's nice to see. That's the type of productivity that you want, especially on a team like that.
Yeah, and it's nice when it's an actual, like it's a deserved confidence versus just being cocky.
That's right. No, that's exactly right.
Like lots of rookies are loud and cocky, and you're like, you have no right to be cocky. What are you doing? I think he has that confidence because he understands, and he's just playing football. He's a more advanced driver than a rookie quarterback is. Like he can get in and he can drive a stick shift already. So without getting overly stressed about it.
All right. So we saw Derek Stingley Jr. He was returning kicks. He looks like he's moving around really well. And what other area of this team, on Sports Extra, you talked about the defensive line as an area that you're going to kind of focus on. I know you played that position, but for this particular team, since there's some uncertainties on the back end, getting pressure is going to be huge.
Yeah, and I think the guys to watch, one is Jerry Hughes, because he comes in from Buffalo. He played with Buffalo forever. Very productive pass rusher who, as he's gotten older, he's not getting as many sacks, but he still gets a lot of pressure on the quarterback. I'd love to see him have a positive kind of tutorial benefit to Jonathan Grenard. Inside, I think Roy Lopez is going to continue to improve. And I think Malik Collins, too. There's that chicken or the egg dynamic where, okay, the defensive backs don't look good because the front's not getting a pass rush. But the fronts don't look good because before they get to the quarterback, there's an open receiver. They complement each other if it's done right. And I think Malik Collins, with some more help on the back end, can get some more sacks this year.
And finally, offensively, what do you want to see? I saw Laramie Tunsil's out here, Titus Sauer, those guys, they walked out together. What do you want to see from those guys?
Damian Pierce.
I do too. I like him.
I fall for this a lot with running backs when they're rookies because, like, running backs just by nature of their type of athleticism look awesome in no pads. Like, they're so explosive and they're just darting through holes where nobody's allowed to tackle them.
Right.
Having said that,
Yeah,
he looks really good. He looks really explosive darting through holes. So, I like him. And, I think a lot of people were kind of, taken in by his personality. But you talk to people at University of Florida, and it's more than that. He didn't get a lot of touches in college, but that's just the nature of college football and that
SEC.
scheme. Everything else. So I'm excited about watching him.
Awesome. Seth, hey, it's the first day. We're always talking Texans football. Appreciate you joining me. Thanks for joining us here on the stream. We'll have more coverage today at noon, 4, 5, 6, 10. I think we're going to be here all month and on Sunday nights.
Yeah, get hydrated, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. See you guys.